All right, let me ask you something. When was the last time you questioned one of those everyday beliefs you just, you know, take for granted? Like the little things you say, the habits you follow, the stuff you don't even stop to think about? Yeah, for most of us, it's kind of rare, isn't it? Here's the thing, though. Most of that stuff running through our heads, we didn't pick it. It's hand-me-down thinking. Imagine your brain is like a big old bucket, and from the moment you could walk and talk, people started chucking stuff in there. Parents, teachers, the media, random strangers at some point, right? Phrases, ideas, even attitudes, just poured in without you even noticing. Now, that might sound harmless at first, but let's take a closer look. How much of what's in your bucket is actually useful? And more importantly, how much of it is just noise? You ever stop and notice how heavy all that stuff can feel sometimes? Yeah, that's the weight of other people's programming dragging you down. And here's the kicker. Most of us carry it without ever thinking, hang on, where did all this even come from? I had my own light bulb moment with this a while back. So picture this. I'm at a family barbecue, chatting away, and I say this exact phrase my dad used to always say. Something like, well, you've got to stick to what you know best. And as soon as it left my mouth, I thought, wait, what? Do I even believe that? Does that even make sense anymore in this day and age? It was like hearing a voice from a totally different world pop out of my mouth. That's when it hit me. So much of what I thought was mine. It isn't. It's just something I absorbed along the way, like secondhand smoke. And honestly, most of us are walking around like that, repeating stuff someone else gave us, living by rules we never actually signed off on. But what happens when you start looking at what's in the bucket? When you start asking, why am I carrying this? Do I even need it anymore? Okay, here's a challenge for you. Next time something really gets under your skin, instead of reacting right away, just pause for a second and ask yourself, wait, where did this reaction even come from? Seriously, who taught you to think this way? It's such a simple question, but oh man, it can pull back the curtain on so much. Think about it for a sec. You see a comment online or hear a bit of gossip, and your brain just jumps straight in, picking a side, forming a judgment. And why? Because that judgment feels safe, right? Certain. But how often do we stop and go, hey, hang on a second. What if the opposite were true? What if I've actually got this all wrong? Here's a quick example for you. A friend of mine shared this post online once, and it ended up blowing up in his face because, people assumed all kinds of stuff about it. Long story short, some folks jumped in, accused him of this, that, and the other, and before you knew it, he was canceled. Except, well, those people never stuck around to ask, is this even real? Is there more to the story? If they had, they'd have realized, yeah, they got it wrong. It happens, right? We've all seen it. Maybe we've even done it ourselves. Which brings me to this. When you react quicker than you think, you're basically running on autopilot. Your brain's got this library of preset opinions and assumptions, and it whips one out faster than you can blink. It feels neat and tidy. But is it, though? I'll never forget this time I nearly got into it with someone on Twitter. Classic tweet storm brewing. I was about to fire off this sarcastic reply, full of smug righteousness. But then, I don't know why, I stopped. Properly stopped. And I thought, wait, what do I actually know about their side of this? Am I totally sure about where I'm coming from? So instead of dunking on him, I asked a genuine question like, hey, can you tell me more about what brought you to your point of view? And you know what? The response was incredible. Clarity, connection, real thought. It kind of blew my mind. So yeah, next time you're tempted to just assume or judge, try one of these. Ask, why do I believe this? Where did I pick it up? Or go bold and flip the script. Ask, what if I'm wrong here? It's uncomfortable, no doubt about it, but it's also where real thinking lives. Let's talk about how everything's connected. And no, I'm not going all conspiracy theorist on you. I mean life, choices, habits, the whole messy puzzle. Ever feel like you're putting out fires all over the place? Stress at work, arguments at home, no time for yourself? Feels like a game of whack-a-mole, right? But here's the big shift. What if you didn't treat each fire like a separate problem? What if you zoomed out and looked at the bigger picture? That's what systems thinking is all about. It's stepping back and asking, how does this all connect? Like, what's the real root cause here? Here's a quick example. I used to think I just needed to get better at time management because, well, my schedule was always chaos. But when I zoomed out, it wasn't just about time. It was about why I kept saying yes to everything, why I wasn't setting boundaries, and most importantly, why I was refusing to let myself rest. The big picture wasn't just my calendar. It was the way I was living. Wild, huh? Now, let's add another layer. Uncertainty. Most of us avoid it like the plague, don't we? That feeling of not knowing, of doubt, it's brutal. But here's the twist. Uncertainty isn't actually the problem. It's how you react to it. Ever catch yourself scrambling for some kind of answer? Any answer, just to feel in control. That's your brain desperately avoiding, I don't know. But what if every once in a while you just sat with it? What if instead of rushing to fix it, you let yourself explore it? I decided to give this whole idea a test drive with a simple reflection routine. 5 minutes a day. That's it. I'd pick one thing that bugged me or got me thinking, and I'd ask a few questions. What's really going on here? What assumptions am I making? What would happen if I saw this differently? And let me tell you, those 5 tiny minutes? Eye-opening. I noticed patterns I'd never paid attention to. Like, I'd see how a tiny work stress was actually making me snappy at home. Or how skipping lunch wasn't just hunger, it was wrecking my focus. And the beautiful part? It's not some huge life overhaul. It's small and repeatable. You don't need to meditate in the mountains. You just need to pause, notice, and ask better questions. Systems thinking, uncertainty, daily practice. It's all connected. And it works. So let me leave you with this. You're not here to fix everything overnight. You're here to learn how to show up with curiosity, clarity, and just a pinch of courage to say, I don't know right now, but I'm thinking about it. And that's enough. That's more than enough. On that note, I'll catch you next time. Until then, keep your mind sharp and your questions sharper. See you soon.